Good morning, welcome back. I have an exciting project planned for today, and the first step is to get some materials. Okay, we got our lumber, and I just realized that I forgot probably the most important piece. I needed a 10-foot 2x10, and I didn't get it. Oops. Okay, I'm an idiot for forgetting this 2x10 header, but all hope is not lost because we have something down here in the basement. I'm not sure how structurally capable this old beam is. Feels pretty good. And it's like 9.5 feet, which is exactly what I need. Now, the only problem is I don't even know how to get this out of the basement. It's pretty tight down here. We're gonna find that out. That window is probably the best bet as far as getting this thing out. It doesn't exactly open though, because here there's pretty much no chance, I think, with the furnace here. I guess it's worth a shot. Let's give it a try. This just might work. Oh yeah. Incredible, crisis averted. On to our next challenge, up the next flight of stairs. Just barely. All right, so the mission for today is to get this beam up here, bearing on that side, across, and bearing down like onto this wall. And that'll just support all these ceiling rafters so that we can take the chimney out, because currently you can see that the roof is actually bearing on the chimney there. And some weird things have happened over time. You can see a cut rafter there. Right there, you can see a gnarly crack in the rafter. So I gotta hoist that one back up, sister it, and then add in a new support, then finally start removing the chimney. Okay, the first step is to try to fix this big bow in the roof. The idea is to hammer this board in, which is gonna hoist that up, but also apply load down below. So I wanna make sure that's fine. It's a good proof of concept here. And that effectively jacked up the cracked rafter. You can see it there. Let's compare it to before. You can see it's a little bit closer to back where it needs to be. We could sister a board probably on either side to just hold that in place so we can remove the temporary brace. Also, just a note, for this framing, I'm gonna be using these structural GRK screws rather than a nail gun. For one, I don't have a nail gun. And two, this is kind of temporary, so screws will make it so we could remove this when we're taking off this roof. I need another set of hands, so that's where Jordan comes in. Yep. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful place, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Happy to have your help. So first step here, we're gonna try to get this beam up there and see what happens.
Sounds good. I think we need to go my end up high, right? So we can use the height.
I see. Let's scoot it back towards you. All right, now are we gonna be able to get this past the chimney?
I think so. Nice.
Oh my goodness, that's a tight fit.
Well, the hard part's done.
Let's just lift it up and see how it sits up there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's first get...
That gap?
Yeah, that gap. Let's just rough cut 2 boards and see how we do. All right, so the issue here is we need to sister the cracked ceiling rafter or roof rafter with a 2x6. It doesn't quite fit where we want to fit it. So we gotta just cut it a little, and I think it'll be fine. We're really doing a hack job here because this is all temporary. So we'll learn as we go, you know? Install a beam, cut a beam, sister a beam. That's what it's all about. Let me grab that end.
Oh yeah.
All right, seems like we gave ourselves the space we needed. All right, now that we have it sistered, this should be able to come out, and let's see if it creaks a little bit. There we go.
Yes.
Didn't seem to move at all, right?
No.
Nice. Okay, so I think we're ready to remove the support of the chimney and see if this roof stays standing. Give you a quick overview. We got the beam that's sitting on a support there. That's all screwed in to the side and pretty solid. We got a couple, braces like that. None of it's pretty, but it's temporary. Another one back here, just tying the rafter down to the beam. And then on that side, it's just a post, the diagonal brace, hopefully to stop it from moving side to side. It's not pretty, but we're proud of our work.
That's what you got to do to topple a chimney.
There we go.
Nice.
All right, no movement. That was the only brick, I think, that was wedged in there.
So it's no longer on the chimney.
I believe so. I think it's free. I think we went very overboard, but I am happy that we did it. Making some good progress here. The whole top is gone. The next step to remove this part is we need to remove a couple of these rafters. So we're just gonna sawzall through them, get them out of the way, and keep chugging here. Lots of progress today, getting a lot of this chimney out. Still a ton to go, and it's not just that floor, it's the whole first floor chimney as well. So based on this rate, with 2 people, I think it could be done in like a week. And we'll see how much Jordan is available to help. It sped things up incredibly, not having to climb a ladder with the load and get back up every time. Super helpful. We were very productive today. So that's a wrap on today. We're gonna go get some burgers and beers, much needed. I'm fortunate to not have a full-time job as I'm working through this renovation. As an independent artist, designer, and business owner, I rely on a lot of different miscellaneous income streams, and what you're seeing on screen is one of them. A developer of a project in West Philly reached out to me via email looking for some prints, and I worked with him to create a nice selection for the lobby of this building. And the developer is super cool, and rather than just finding stock images, he was willing to spend the extra budget to actually work with real artists to get interesting and unique work. And he's from New York, but given that this project is in Philly, he was specifically looking for Philadelphia artists, and my name came up. There's no sponsor for this week's video, so I want to take an opportunity to tell you a little bit more about myself and my business. Through the public school system, it seems like we're always pushed to go into a conventional career, but the world is evolving at a rapid pace. And there's a huge opportunity right now with the internet and social media that people can kind of make a way for themselves, but there's not really a roadmap for that like there is for a conventional career. So I want to take a minute here to show you how this has worked for me, and it's not something that happened overnight. It's something that slowly built in the background as I continued sharing my photos on Instagram in the beginning and building an audience that wanted to support my work that then enabled me to create more work, and it became this beautiful cycle, and how now I'm able to not work a full-time job and spend so much time working on this house and also spend the time to edit these videos each week. In terms of making it as an artist, it's kind of unfortunate that you can't just rely on the quality of your work, but you need to find a balance between creating great work, but also marketing it and trying to find a way to make money to support yourself, which will enable you to make even more art. Right now, I want to just talk about the business side, so if that's interesting to you, feel free to stick around. And really what it's come down to is creating multiple income streams. When you're working a normal job, you are reliant on just that one paycheck that comes in twice a month. But as a freelancer, you can never guarantee another job or more income, so you have to diversify the ways that money comes in. So if one thing slows down, another thing might be able to pick up and continue to support you. These are in no particular order, and I want to start with web sales. Early on in architecture school, I was developing a website to showcase my art and photography, and I sold prints, but it was never really a significant amount of income. But I was slowly building the infrastructure that would grow many years later to support me. So on my website, I sell things like my book, High Rises Art Deco, which is now back in stock and shipping. So if you want to support the project, consider picking up a copy. It's an awesome book that me and the writer I worked with, Mark Hauser, are really proud of. And I also sell prints there and even things like digital wallpapers in high resolution for your phone. Next is events for the High Rises project. We've had events in Philadelphia and Detroit and New York and Chicago. And there's revenue from ticket sales and also book and product sales for the events. I also do a handful of commissioned photo projects. Earlier this year, I got to work with a marketing agency that was rebranding a building in Chicago, and I flew out there and flew my drone to document this building and deliver an image that they would use on the building's website. I also do some commissioned architectural projects, which I would love to get more into, and I want to show you a project I did last year working with a developer to create a concept for a building that's inspired by the design of the past. I've spent so much time documenting these early skyscrapers and really falling in love with the details. So this opportunity to kind of use what I learned to design my own building was incredible. And this rendering is purely conceptual, just to pitch developers on the idea of buying the land and building something historic. So who knows if it'll ever pan out, but it was a very fun project to work on. I also make some money through Amazon affiliates. This is mainly just in the frames. When someone buys a print on my website, I have a link to a nice frame that I've used a lot. And some money trickles in there, not a whole lot. On a similar note, stock photos. Years ago, I listed some photos on like Shutterstock, and I get, I don't know, maybe $2 a month. So it's not much, but every little bit counts. Another avenue of my business is NFTs. When it comes to artists selling their art as NFTs, I don't think it's any different than selling prints. It's just another way for people to support art that they like and have some sense of ownership. Even if it's not a physical, tangible asset like a print, you have this digital ownership. Currently, for the High Rises collection, many of the buildings featured in the series are available as NFTs, these digital tokens, for as little as like $300 or 0.1 Ethereum. And hold on, I know what you might be thinking, that paying $300 for something you can't even hold is crazy. But the thing is, each of these images probably cost me more than $300 to create, because I had to get flights, rent cars, pay for gas and hotels, and on top of that, spend an enormous amount of time to photograph and then edit each of these images. And each one of these NFTs is one of one, meaning only one person can ever collect the NFT of that building, whereas a print, if it's not part of like a numbered edition or something, I could sell as many prints as I want. So there's just something about the inherent scarcity that creates value. And it's the same as in the art world. If you sell a one of one print or a one of 10 print, that's more valuable than a print that's not signed or numbered and not part of any edition. And well, that's just kind of how the art world works. The final and newest stream of income is YouTube, which I'm so excited to be doing now. It's been on my mind for many, many, many years, and I was always turned off just by how much work it is to do these videos, especially in the beginning when no one's watching them and you're not making any money and you're spending, tens of hours a week trying to edit videos. But I'm really excited to have the time now and the project that's worth documenting to give this a real shot. And the revenue is in the form of Google AdSense and sponsored videos. My last video was the first sponsored video I've done, and I have a couple more lined up, and I'm gonna see how it goes until I book more of them. But it seemed like the response on the last video was really positive. I appreciate that everyone understands that this is a lot of work that I'm putting into making these videos for you. So to get some money through sponsorships is not the end of the world. And it's just gonna help reduce some of the financial stress that comes with spending so much money renovating a house. And also hopefully money from sponsorships can improve the project and give me extra money that I could spend on finishes or appliances or something. So I hope this was interesting to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of how running a personal brand or personal business like this works. And I'm happy, again, to answer any questions you might have about it. So with that, I will see you next week to continue demolishing this chimney. It's going to take a while.